more Telegraph. And Nick, it's interesting to see them come out so sort of pro-immigration, really.
Yeah, it's why weaning Britain off foreign workers could come at a high price. Quite a weird way of putting it, weaning off. But yeah, I mean, this is the idea that we've needed immigration, you know, to plug gaps in the labour market, which I've never really agreed with. We were fine before, but yes, you might cite the birth rate and say, well, that's what the problem is. But 40% of the country says that immigration is the biggest issue, and that's just behind the economy and health, as I mentioned earlier. And at the last election, it was only 1 in 5. So this is a massive increase, obviously because immigration has reached absurd levels. 764,000 net arrivals in 2022, only went down to 685,000 in 2023. So this is obviously the problem facing the country. And Labour have only promised to get it down to the hundreds of thousands, a couple of 100,000 a year, still way too high for most people.
But we're talking net migration in terms of people leaving, isn't it? It's the balance of people leaving and people coming.
No, net migration is net numbers coming in.
It's just on that.
Yeah. I mean, that's why that's catastrophically high. I mean, that's net arrivals. That's not gross arrivals. I mean, a certain amount go back, but that's net. That means 1 million came in, but several 100,000 went back. But that still left you with a net of 764,000. That's what that means. So that's incredible. So yeah, but the idea that it's this question: do we need foreign workers? You know, will British people not do the jobs, etc. I always question that, but that is the claim, of course.
I don't think British people will do the jobs.
Would you do them?
Well, what job?
Well, we're barely doing it here.
No, exactly. I wouldn't do this, and I'm British, so no.
Well, look, Nick, I know you know about this stuff. Could you answer me this question? Then?
No.
Do you think that the country will be worse off with less migration?
No, it'd be better.
Do you think there'd be what this article is arguing, that it will come at a high price to this country?
Oh, OK. So now now you're getting into different kinds of price. So Paul Morland, who's an expert on this, talks about the 3 E's. He talks about egotism, by which he means the refusal to have children. Then there's economic growth, and then there's what he calls ethnic continuity. So someone like Japan has said, right, we only want Japanese people. Never mind the economic growth. We just won't have any immigration. Now England has sacrificed that. We've sacrificed a certain amount of cultural cohesion because we've said, OK, we don't really want to have that many children, but we want to keep our economic growth, so we've got to sacrifice. So his theory is you have to sacrifice one of these. Yeah. Okay. And so that's what we've done. But I'm questioning whether it's even led to this economic growth. People like Douglas Murray in Strange Death of Europe questions this. GDP per capita might have gone up. No, GDP total might have gone up, but GDP per capita has gone down.
Yeah, well, that's what it says here. But the argument of this article is that it's going to come at a higher price.
They're talking about how are we going to... We've got used to it. This is why they say weaned off. So there would be an adjustment period where people are used to low prices, low wages, and it's this kind of archetypal thing. You have your cleaner or whatever. It's this kind of Remainer rhetoric, but we just have to readjust, which I think we would. It's
not just that. There's unintended consequences in terms of companies relocating because they can't afford the new thresholds that have been put there to restrict immigration. Now they can't afford to pay that, so they're going to move those factories to... Right. So there are bigger ramifications here.
You could remove regulations, absurd amount of regulations on business and minimum wage and so on.
All right, well, look, we tried to get deep on something.
I think we did quite well.
Yeah, all right, good.